Today's conversation is about something that goes beyond football. This is a conversation about identity, transition, and learning how to step into that next chapter with intention. Chad Greenway spent 11 years as number 52 for the Minnesota Vikings. For a long time, that number followed him everywhere. Then one day, that chapter ended. And like so many people experienced in retirement, the question became, who am I when that title goes away? Let's transition a little bit into this whole idea of when the title goes away. Because a lot of our listeners, Chad, are people that are dealing with this. A lot of people find identity in their job.
Yeah.
And whether it's football or it's corporate America or you're a school teacher or whatever it may be, which makes sense because you put all this sweat equity into it. A lot of people have a ton of passion around what they do. And really outside of sleeping, there's nothing you spend more time doing in your working lifetime than that. And then you retire and all that goes away and you're kind of left sitting, watching The Price is Right, and Drew Carey's not nearly as good as Bob Barker was. And you're now what do I do?
Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about that. Title goes away. How did you make that transition? And is there any advice you could give to people? Because you also have a unique scenario where most people aren't retiring, quote unquote, in their 30s. Right. And so that has given you more runway to kind of watch it play out, learn from it, and that kind of stuff. And so what did you do? If you could go back and change anything, what lessons have you learned? What advice would you give?
I think the first thing, if I look back to why I didn't struggle as much as some, is because I had a bunch of people in my life that weren't yes men. What I mean by that is a lot of people have everybody in their life just tells them how great they are all the time.
Yeah.
You're good at this, you're good at that, you're great at running a company, you're great. Well, you have people just telling you the truth all the time. Like my wife, my mom, my sisters, like people. I had strong women in my life.
Your wife tells you the truth too?
All the time.
More than
and and that it matters because when all of a sudden you step away, like that still just is what I did.
Yeah.
Like I could have an incredible game and come home and it was about the kids and the family and what we had to do. I could have a really bad game and struggle and be really upset and lose self-confidence in my game and my ability. And it was about the family, the kids, our life. It was never about that. And that kept things in perspective. And when I retired and stepped away, there's certainly a time when you're like, man, I am now irrelevant. That was so relevant. I was a celebrity in a lot of people's eyes. This professional athlete. I chose to walk away from it. I decided to retire on my own terms, which I think is a lot of why it was easier for me because I didn't get told you're not good enough.
Yeah,
I got to tell them I'm done. Yeah. So when you get to retire and walk away on your own terms, there's something to be said. The fact that like I'm not scorned by that. I wasn't scorned by the league saying you're done. You're not good enough. Nobody will sign you. I was like, no, I'm not going to take that contract. I'm done. So I stepped into that world. Very first regular season game the next year, so like the next September after I retired, in 2017 season, we went to the Muni in Wayzata for lunch. Game was just starting. And I realized that there's a whole world out here that don't care about football. That don't care about Sundays. They don't care that there's professional athletes that don't care about the Vikings. And it kind of puts things in perspective because, like, then we went to my daughter's soccer game. Yeah. And it was like 2:00, and like the game's going on, and you just realize that like there's a whole life out here that isn't surrounded around this entertainment, which is what we are. Yeah. And it kind of forced you to realize that like there's a whole nother world, and you're not that important. But when you're in it, you think it's the most important thing. Everybody cares in every move. And now again, there's a massive volume of people in the NFL, NFL fans that really, really care and break it down and go on blogs and talk and on social media and the craziness. But what it made me realize is there's a whole nother life out here that's beyond that. Yeah. And for me, I can always remember my wife, like, you got to put on the calendar, excuse my language, but that, word for word, because like, this isn't just about you anymore. Because before I would go to work. Hey, honey, I'm gone. I'll be gone at 6. I'll be home at 6. Yeah. I'm going to go work out, get my lift in, blah, 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 training, room, practice, home by 6, 6:30. And then, like, it was built around my schedule. It was all about me. And now I'm retired and, like, no, like, you don't just get to run off. Like, you're not going to go, like, I need the kids taken here. Or where are you going to be? Like, how can I count on you to help? I have this going on. So you had to blend, and I'm still not great at it. But
sound like a typical husband.
I love when my wife forgets something on the calendar too, so I can just throw it back at her. But
you got to be better than me because you had 4 kids. I only have 2.
Yeah,
so I don't even know how you did that.
It's a challenge. But I
I'm a man defense guy.
Yeah.
No zone.
No, we play a lot of zone. Yeah. At this point, I think they're just raising themselves, to be honest, most times.
They're feral.
Yeah, basically. But you just realize that like it just isn't about you.
Yeah.
And I think making that decision right away and not going to become a broadcaster or not traveling around or not coaching and staying in the game, where all of a sudden I'm missing kid stuff. I'm sacrificing that. I'd have made that decision based off like that's what I think I want to do because I want to either remain relevant or remain important or care about how much money I make. When I made that decision right away, and my wife certainly was like, well, if you do that, you're choosing to not be around your kids. Like you're actually going to travel more as a non-football player. You might as well keep playing.
Yeah.
And it's a good perspective because it's like, you're right. I don't need to do that. I don't have to. What am I doing it for? And then I kind of settled into that life of like, well, I can kind of do whatever, whenever I want to. I can start a business. I can do this. I can do that. And that became a new kind of challenge. I think Grey Duck was really impactful in the timing of my retirement because it was a new challenge that I knew nothing about.
Right.
And now you can kind of embrace this. Like, what are we doing here? Like, what is this business? How do we get around it? How are we successful? How do we get sales? And then not knowing anything about it, being completely ignorant to the company or to that industry. Sorry. Was almost better because you could walk into these meetings and they would just basically tell you, no, we're not going to bring you in. We don't think this is relevant. We're not going to, and all of a sudden, like a month later, they're calling you saying, wait a second, that we need you. We keep getting people asking about it. So we knew like our marketing was working and that kind of guerrilla marketing, shaking hands, meeting people, building relationships.
Going to Shields in Des Moines.
Yeah, going all over. I mean, sweat equity. So I was going all over, not getting a check. My whole life, like if I show up, I'm getting a check and moving. And that was sweat equity in the sense of like, I'm going to go up and do all these events and try to build a brand.
Yeah.
And which has been really fun. I think that was a good challenge at the time, like a year and a half post-career.
Yeah.
But then I also, like around COVID time, so about another 2 years later, was like, I have this free time that if I just remain idle, like I just go crazy. So like that's when we got the farm out in Delano, and I spent a lot of time out there. And if I have a day where I have a Zoom here or a call there, like I'll just do it at the farm. And I'll drive out in the morning after I get the kids off to school. I know I got stuff after school and practices I'm coaching and stuff like that, or the kids have games. I can be out there for 4 or 5 hours doing what I like to do, handling some calls, kind of the best of both worlds.
Yeah. So what I heard out of that, and I just want to repeat it back and make sure that I'm hearing it right, is you really spent time figuring out, like, ideally, these are the things that I value. This is, if I really just kind of boil it down, this is what I care about. Because this is what I care about, this is how I'm going to choose to spend my time.
Yeah. I think when guys who, especially if you've done something for a long, long time, it's been your whole identity, is what else do you love?
Yeah.
So for me, it was very simple. I had a bunch of young kids in the house.
A bunch.
To keep my attention, to keep my focus. And also, I think part of like my kids being good at sports, yes, they're talented.
Yeah.
But it was because I was always there to help them.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to go rebound? And I had a way of making the games fun so they didn't get sick of it. They didn't get sick of dad coaching. I'm not yelling at them. I'm not going crazy. I sometimes yell at them now. But back then, you're just trying to develop a love for it. Say, oh, it's fun. Oh, they get a lot of self-confidence from being good at this.
Yeah.
They leave a game and they have all these points and they're doing really well because you put the work in. Now you can kind of make your kids think that way. So I think that was a heavy part of my purpose, was just diving into my kids.
Yep.
Just so happens to be on the sports side. But also because I had young kids. A lot of guys who are in this industry for 30, 40 years, kids are grown, they have grandkids around, they're going to games, they're enjoying that. But what else do they love to do they can dive into? Like for me, the farm has been this thing that's been like just the best.
Yeah.
Because it's something in my past that I understand and like.
Yep.
And it gives me a chance to go out and do something that I don't have to go make money doing it. I don't have to, there's not a stress or a pressure to be successful.
Yeah.
I might go I'm building a big clubhouse or a tree house for the kids. Like that is, it's labor. I like manual labor. It keeps me busy. It keeps my mind tasked at doing something I'm not necessarily good at and trying to learn. So I'm watching YouTube videos and figuring out how to do this piece of construction. And I think that's fun. So you got to go find something that you're passionate about.
Did you say clubhouse or treehouse?
It's kind of both. It's a tree house, but I didn't want to build it to connect it to the tree because there's so much movement with the wind out there. So I built like a double deck house around a tree. It's excellent.
My dad built us a treehouse when I was a kid, and if that tree's still there, that thing is still there. I think he used 100 pounds of nails.
Yeah. That's the problem with those trees. That's why I was like, well, the tree grows, and I got to deal with that, and it's going to be falling apart. And I'm not good at construction, so I'm learning a lot. But yeah, I just put 4 posts in the ground, basically built the first level, and then I built the second level, put a roof on it.
Yeah. I'm
ordering trusses from Menards, having them delivered and throwing them over in the house. It's been an amazing project. It's a lot of fun. I
love
put
it.
siding up yesterday. Can't go today 'cause it's weather stinks.
We've been blessed though. Like I'm not going to complain about this because it's been so amazing. Because
awesome
I'm with you too, dude. I don't know why I live here.
No,
I'm not a winter guy. I don't ice fish. I don't snowmobile.
I know.
I don't play hockey.
People say this all the time, especially not being from Minnesota. Neither one of us are from Minnesota. Is you wonder why, but then you also like realize, especially with all the turbulence and turmoil going around in Minneapolis right now, kind of around is like this is really a great place to raise children.
It is.
I mean, it's a great culture, a great place to raise kids. It's not perfect. We got a lot of things going on, but at the end of the day, it is still a great place for that. And I think people forget that sometimes. I
think one of the other things I pulled out of what you just said, Chad, that's really important for people to think about, whether you're retiring in your mid-30s or you're retiring at 60, 65, is there's a lot of things that people probably like to do that if they did it in their working years wouldn't be as fun because they had to earn money to make it happen.
Yep.
You can turn something that is possibly money-making into more of a hobby and just find the enjoyment in it and not have to worry about the financial aspect of it.
Yep.
Because it doesn't sound to me like you're a profitable farmer.
Opposite. I think when you hear stories of guys retiring, a little bit of the hero complex, right? Of like, this is about me. This is my business. I started. Now I sold it or I moved on or retired. When you step into a world where you're no longer that person, like, who are you?
Yeah.
And I think for me, I was blessed with, that quote of never forget where you came from.
Yeah.
So at my core, I am a small town kid that really could be broke and be happy.
Yeah.
Like I don't need money. I don't need title. I don't need stuff like that. Like I'm good just toiling on the farm and kind of being chill that way or being a dad or whatever. That part excites me.
Yeah.
I think it's hard for I'll say men and women, but I think mostly men when you've lived in that world of like,
sure.
You had all the answers. You put the work in. You built the structure.
People look up to you.
Yep.
You've got some
people
power.
Are knocking on your door, asking you questions. It's really hard to step out of that world and just be a guy.
Yeah.
Just that we call him a jag, just a guy. If you're all of a sudden you're just a guy, right? It's like, well, that doesn't take away. That's not your identity. It's not who you are. Like at the end of the day, like if you have done something for a long time and have a family and a successful family, we'll call it that, right? Where you have relationships for people that you love and you care about, that really is your purpose.
Yeah.
And like this job and the business you were building, yes, it's a huge part of your life, but in some ways, like that also took away from your purpose, but you also were able to build a business because home was taken care of.
Yep.
So when you lean into that, I think too many guys, and I'm not that age yet, but you see so many guys retire, start a business, be successful, and just can't find their way.
Yep.
And it's a real challenge.
It is.
And I think while you're doing your work and retirement's coming, you need to be thoughtful about what is that? What do I love to do? What makes me happy? Some people, I'm going to go golf all day. Okay, well, great. Well, some people realize that they don't really like that much. A couple years in, like, this is miserable.
I think it's the other way around. I think people find out golf doesn't like them that much.
Yeah, well, that's the case, too. I think a lot of people, when you move out of that world, I'm going to be a consultant in the same industry because I just want to be around people. And that's a good way to kind of blend your way into retirement where also I'm not every day grind, but also I'm going to be around the industry and tell you know what, I'm just actually sick of it. I'm going to be done and kind of get it out of your system. I think for me, football was out of my system. I wanted to move on to the next phase of my life.
Yeah.
And I had things set up. I had been thoughtful about things. I didn't think Grey Duck was going to fall in my lap and have an opportunity, but I knew I was ready mentally. And have it out of my system. I think that's really important for guys before they step away. If you're in that position to be so lucky to say, hey, I can choose when I want to step away.
Yep.
Like doing it on your terms is really, I think, important for the next step because it means you're ready.
Yeah. What I get out of your story, Chad, is you had an identity before football, right?
Right.
That identity of that small town kid, work hard, keep your head down, that kind of deal. And having that going into football meant that football wasn't your only identity.
The NFL just happened. It was just like, wow, this is fun.
Yeah. Meeting your wife very early in college.
Yep.
And then creating a family identity really early in your career and having that to fall back on. I think the challenge to everybody listening is that what outside of your career, what is it? What is your identity? Who do you want to be? Because the other thing is you can recreate yourself. You don't have to be the person you were yesterday. You can be a different person. But finding that identity, and sometimes to your point, and it is more of a male thing, but it definitely happens both male and female, is we get so ingrained. You made the comment about, I realize not everybody actually watches football. Like the game was on. I can just see you sitting in the Muni and there's people like just eating their food and not watching the game.
Don't care at all.
Or they're playing pull tabs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is what I would have been doing.
Yes, exactly.
To be clear. But just realizing that job, that thing isn't everything.
Right.
And who do you want to be? How do you lean into that? And how do you make it fun? and not, it doesn't all have to be about money. I do want to end, because I know you got to go. I just want to talk a little bit. I'm going to let you, give yourself a plug. I did bring the bottle in here.
Yeah.
I know it's going well, relatively speaking. You got into a very crowded space.
Yes.
My guess is 9 years into it, had you known what you were going to go through, you would have never done it.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah,
I've learned so much.
Yeah.
And I've the benefit of having really good partners. When you start a company with people you don't really know, it's really not smart. But in this case, I got really lucky.
Yeah.
And the right guys are there that do the day-to-day operation to run the company, where I get to kind of play along and be a marketing guy and show up to events and kind of be the face of the brand. But at the end of the day, I'm still making decisions with the company like they are too. I think I didn't realize how hard it would be.
Yeah.
To gain market share.
Yeah.
But then never start a company that's in the most crowded space on the liquor cabinet. I mean,
it's like trying to get a drink at the airliner after a football game.
It's hard.
It's
got to
crowded.
really have your hand up. You got to work hard. Or find the prettiest girl and just make, because the bartenders always seem to find
that
them.
is the way to do it. You're not wrong.
It's been. I don't know if I would say I wouldn't do it again. If we went back and started again, we would just know a lot more.
Yeah.
About what to do and what to focus on. But the thing we're most proud of is we've never taken on outside equity partners and capital. The company's literally built itself. And I didn't really know what to expect. I didn't know, like, this is going to be a 3-year deal. We're going to sell the company and make a bunch of money. I didn't think that either.
Yeah.
I didn't really know what to expect. I know now that, like, we know a lot and we've learned a lot. And I think we're kind of, my partners specifically are now industry experts because you've done all the hard stuff.
Yeah.
We've done all the licensing and all the stuff in every state. Like, we've done those things that a lot of people who are in the high ups just have people that do that.
Yep.
We are those people.
Yeah.
It's an industry that gets gobbled up by the big dogs, and they have these huge companies and huge marketing dollars. And, we're not that, but we're chipping away. It's been fun to see where it's gone.
I was listening. So you guys started a podcast to talk about the growth of this company, Gray Duck Unfeathered.
Yep.
And if you're listening to this, you're a podcast person, so you might as well go listen to that one too. I listened to the first episode. It was great. I loved learning some of the story. I loved the fact that this was in December, I think you recorded it. Is that right?
The
first episode. So the number's not probably right anymore, but I was laughing because you were number 67.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah. We had to play on that. Number 67. It was
out of how many SKUs?
A lot. Like, I can't remember the number, but it's a lot of SKUs.
It's like over 1,000.
Yes, a lot of SKUs. Like, we're doing, like, people don't realize how hard that is to do because there's so much out there. You walk into a liquor store now, if you're in there, it is confusing. It's hard. There's a lot getting thrown at you. Yeah. So for you to identify, like, having to go find this product and buy this is a challenge. It's a real challenge.
Yeah.
And I think we started the podcast really to talk about, and we're not really there yet in our podcast story of all the failures we've had.
Yeah.
Man, we've had a lot of failures and struggles and mistakes and spent money on things we shouldn't have and just learned. And I think that's what small business people want. They want to know that there's somebody that's gone through that and done that, because everybody's
like
making
playing
mistakes.
A game. It's like playing football. It's like playing chess or checkers. It's just, you're always learning.
Yep.
I always tell people it's like puzzle building.
Yep.
And I've made more mistakes than most, but the most successful people, and I'm not saying this is us, don't make that connection, but that's the most successful people. I mean, the Steve Jobs of the world, to use an extreme example, that guy failed and tried more than anybody ever, which is why he became what he was, because he wasn't afraid of it. To him, it was a game.
Yep.
And he's like, I'm just going to figure it out. And he had just ridiculous standards. Like, he just didn't accept anything other than exactly how he wanted it. So there's that too. Kind of a hard guy to work for. But phenomenal what you've been able to do in the last 9 years. And again, I would encourage you guys to go out and listen to it. I had a lot of fun listening to it.
Yeah, thank you.
And it's pretty much everywhere now.
It is. Yeah. We're pretty much everywhere.
Minnesota.
I mean, we're all in Minnesota. We're in a few other states. We're in Wisconsin, the Dakotas. But if you're in Minnesota and you're listening to this, you can go find Gray Duck within 15 minutes of your house, most likely.
Yeah.
Unless you're up north, maybe. Too much. There's not a town within 15 minutes. But we're pretty much all over.
That.
And if there's a store that you go to that doesn't have it, ask them about it, because they can bring it in easily. And the growth is fun, and it's been challenging, which makes it even more fun when you have success.
Yeah.
Which is all part of it.
Well, you're only here because you're a good guy and you said yes, and I appreciate that. We didn't even have time. There's a lot of things I would have loved to get into with you. Maybe we can have you back at some point, but I do want to give a couple more shout outs because we didn't even have time to get to your foundation and all the work you've done there, which is completely phenomenal. I heard about that pretty early on. My wife was a neonatal intensive care nurse down at Children's Hospital and ran into you multiple times.
Yeah, we've been there for a number of years.
And so she never had the goal to like walk up and introduce her. Some big, we're classmates. You don't know that, but we're classmates. But done some phenomenal work there. So if you're going to go, listeners, if you're going to do any homework on Chad, that's where I would start, is the work that him and his family have done through their foundation. I have to I gave a shout out to my dad for giving me this. I have to give a shout out to my mom. She makes these.
No way.
That's 3D printed. My little Lego Hawkeye guy.
You're kidding me.
No, and she makes them.
Really cool.
So I'm going to give that to you as a gift because I know my mom will make me another one.
Yes,
and she'll be very happy to know that you have one of her little Lego guys.
Yeah, you can see the lines.
I know, isn't it crazy?
That is cool.
Yeah, I've got hair for him if you want him to not be bald.
Is running a 3D printer?
Yeah, that's her life. She's at,
no way.
Yeah, it's all 3D printing.
How cool is that?
Yeah, quite the hobby. Yeah, so you talk about finding identity and transition in life. Yeah, 3D printing. You're a farmer. She's a 3D printer.
Yeah, I gotta get that 3D printer. Maybe missing out.
But anyway, I just really appreciate your story. Thanks for taking the time to be here.
You bet.
And hopefully we'll have you back sometime.
You bet. Sounds good, man.
All right,
thanks for having
Chad.
me.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to click the subscribe button to be notified when new episodes become available. The information covered and posted represents the views and opinions of the guests and does not necessarily represent the views and opinions of Fiat Wealth Management. The content has been made available for informational and educational purposes only. The content is not intended to be a substitute for professional investing advice. Always seek the advice of your financial advisor or other qualified financial service provider with any questions you may have regarding your investment planning.